Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, so what you guys are seeing in front of you right now is some gameplay from Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing Transformed. One of the best kart racing arcade games that I've actually played in a very long time. Seriously, this game is fantastic. And you definitely should go ahead and take advantage of it. If you like what you see right now, go ahead and click the link below. It'll send you to Amazon. You can go ahead and buy either the console version or the PC version. Remember, even though it shows a picture of the Wii U version or the console version, if you click on that, you can actually choose if you want the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Vita, 3DS, or Wii U versions. Any particular version that you want to get, you can get from there. So, now that we've talked about that, let's go ahead and make this response video to Icy Rhythms. Now, Icy Rhythms, actually, apparently a lot of people have been telling him that you can go ahead and use the power of the cloud to actually enhance the hardware on your system. Is that true? Well, Icy Rhythms countered that by going ahead and talking about what Mark Cherney has said on one of his particular videos there. Now, here's the problem with this, Icy. Two things wrong with this. Number one, you can't go ahead and take this guy's word for face value. After all, just because you can't figure out how to do it doesn't mean you cannot do it. And the fact is that he's actually lying, because it's actually, well, either he's lying or he doesn't know how to do it, because actually Sony does this too. But I'm gonna explain that in 1 minute here. And number two, the thing about this is, dude, is that, remember, he works for Sony, and that whole on the cloud processing thing is a strict Microsoft thing. So of course he's gonna talk it down. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and talk about this for a second. Can you go ahead and enhance your processing power and graphical power by using the cloud? I'm going to actually separate it and start with processing. Can you go ahead and do it? The answer is no and yes. It's actually no and yes. But to answer the question exactly, the answer is no. You cannot, by any shape of the mean, go ahead and actually use like a cloud processing to go ahead and enhance your actual processor. You can't do it. It's impossible. That being said, you can give the glamour of an enhanced processor by using the cloud. Let me explain to you what I mean by this. What happens is this. You can go ahead and actually the system can send calculations to the cloud to do it there, and then send it back to your system. And when it's doing that, that particular calculation will not be kind of taxing on the processor, and therefore will go ahead and allow you to allow your system to go ahead and actually do different calculations, basically making it so it won't be as heavy processing as it would be if the actual system itself would be doing the calculations. Now, this can totally backfire on you if your internet decides to shut down out of nowhere, but I'm just saying. Now, let me give you an example of this. This is actually done. The reason why I said he was lying is because, technically speaking, on a technical level, this is actually done on the PlayStation 3. You know, if you actually go into your PlayStation 3, there's this thing called folding at home. Now, what folding at home basically does is there's a system out there. It connects to the system, and what it'll do is it'll send information to your system, do the calculations for the system, and then send it back. That's essentially what is happening with the whole processing thing when it comes down to the cloud and Xbox One. What's happening is that your system is actually reaching out to another system, not an Xbox One, but a server, if you will, doing the calculations and then sending it back to you. Now, I'm not sure what calculations are being done, but if it's gameplay-wise, then it can go ahead and make your system seem like it's running on an enhanced processor. Seem like, but it's not really doing that. So that's how that works. If you have any other questions, ask in the comment section. I'll be more than willing to answer that. So I'm going to go ahead and give you two more examples of what I just said in terms of the processing. Number one is YouTube. Now, YouTube is a cloud service. That's right, YouTube is a cloud service, for those who didn't know. Now, with that being known now, you're actually streaming a 720p video on your computer, and it's not taking a lot of resources at all. But if you was to go ahead and play this exact same 720p video on your actual system, it actually would take more resources. That's pretty much what they're talking about. It's like to go ahead and do the calculations on another computer is a lot easier to do than actually doing it on your current computer, and it actually will go ahead and give you better quality. Now, also another example of this is actually online. Remember how online was to go ahead and actually, it allowed you to go ahead on a really weak computer to go ahead and play PC games at a extremely high quality? Well, that's pretty much what this thing is. That's what they're talking about, basically. And not exactly how OnLive works in terms of that, but yes, they will go ahead and allow you to stream other things to your PC while you're, to your Xbox One while you're playing it, and thus taking a lot of the stress off the system itself, allowing you to get better quality and better performance out of your system. That's pretty much all they're talking about. It's not really that hard to understand. That's pretty much it. That being said, what about graphics? Can it go ahead and enhance graphics? Yes, it can actually go ahead and enhance graphics. I'll explain this too. Now, when it comes down to this is how it works. What happens is that a lot of games out there, what they'll do is they'll put what's called placeholders on the disc. Now, these placeholders will, in fact, be not the actual graphics, but kind of like a placeholder in terms like sub-graphics, like sub-HD. It's just simply there for you to go ahead and actually, in the Xbox One and probably the PlayStation 4's case, just go ahead and install it. If you put placeholders, it'll actually go ahead and install on the actual system a lot faster than if you had actual real-life textures, the real textures, the high-definition textures going on there. Now, what'll happen is that when that's done, when you're online, while you're playing, it can actually go ahead and download the high definition version of these textures while you're actually playing the game. Can this be done? Yes, it's actually done already. There's a lot of games, especially on PC. There's a lot of games on PC like Star Trek Online and I think it's let's see, Star Trek Online and Champions Online. Those are two games that come and also EverQuest 2 I believe does it too. What they'll do is they'll go ahead and have it so you can actually install the game. Now, once you install the game, it's run off of the old textures and the weak textures, and what happens is that when you start playing the game, it'll actually go ahead and have the textures start downloading right to your system from the cloud, allowing you to play an enhanced gameplay. Enhanced graphics, that is. So I guess through that enhanced gameplay. But not only that, but a similar local version of that technology is actually done now on different systems. If you remember, Uncharted and God of War, no, not God of War, Gears of War does this too. You know how Gears of War will go ahead and you'll run and you'll actually go ahead and you'll run into like a fuzzy texture for a while and then it'll actually go ahead and get back to normal? That's because it's not streaming from the cloud, but it's actually streaming from the CD. It originally loads the weaker textures to kind of go ahead and save itself, the processing power and the load times, and then what happens is that while you're actually playing it, it's actually streaming from the actual CD and it's streaming high resolution textures. And so it's kind of going, and that's pretty much how it works. It just exchanges the CD for a cloud-based server, and there you go. Now, that's pretty much how it works. And so yes, you can go ahead and play enhanced graphics and the visual of enhanced processing power through the cloud. That's how you actually go ahead and do it. That's pretty much it for there. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and make your comments. I always like comments. I always like watching people's comments. You guys have a good night. I'm out.